Hey there my peeps, this is the prediction game video for the Randy Orton vs Dolph Ziggler match. You're going to see this Sunday at Night of Champions. In the background is my simulation of the match. I'm playing as Dolph Ziggler in this one because Dolph Ziggler is my prediction, is my pick to win this match, although I can definitely see Randy picking up the victory here. I have a feeling Dolph is going to win this. And I know I've said this before, I've said this actually in the prediction game video just recently. These guys have faced off so many times. They've had so many matches both on Raw and SmackDown, so this is another rematch. So I'd say the top 3 matches at Night of Champions, they're all rematches. You've got CM Punk vs John Cena, which I don't mind because I like CM Punk vs John Cena. I like the feud, and I'm looking forward to the match this Sunday to see what happens. And then you've got Sheamus vs Del Rio, which I'm not looking forward to. That's their third consecutive match or third consecutive pay-per-view match in a row. And I did say it in the prediction game video for Sheamus vs Del Rio that I think Sheamus is going to win. But also somebody in the comment section of that video, ZZ Vulture, gave a good point. He said he can see Del Rio winning this at Night of Champions, so then they can end their feud at Hell in a Cell, because it doesn't make too much sense to have Sheamus face off against a new opponent, a new challenger at a pay-per-view in a match type such as Hell in a Cell, which is usually used to end the feud. So ZZ Vulture, you do make a good point, but I still see Sheamus winning that match. But I could also see Del Rio having, a chance at winning this, like I stated in the video itself. So as far as Randy and Dolph Ziggler goes, like I said, this is the other rematch match on the show. I think all the other matches are pretty much first time evers, if I'm not mistaken here. Layla versus Caitlyn, I don't think we've actually, we might have seen this in the past when Layla was a heel. I don't know, but as far as both of them being faces and facing off against each other, then yes, this is the first time. And the tag team championship match, that is also a first time ever. IC title match, also a first time ever, since it's a fatal 4-way match with all these guys in there. And as far as Cesaro goes, well, we don't know who's going to face Cesaro, but we might get a first time ever match there too. Anyways, despite this match being a rematch, and I don't know how many times we've seen it, it should be a good match. But even with this, potentially being a good to great match, it's still a rematch that we've seen, so many times before. And on top of that, all of their matches, I'm pretty sure, have been on free TV. All of their one-on-one matches have been on free TV. They were planning on having Dolph Ziggler versus Randy, I believe, at No Way Out, in a one-on-one match. That was going to be their first pay-per-view encounter, but they didn't end up doing that, so now it's at Night of Champions instead. So, we've seen Randy versus Dolph so many times on free TV, and now we get it on pay-per-view. So I don't think this match really is a pay-per-view seller, just because, like I said, I keep saying it, but we keep seeing it too. So, this feud all started on a SmackDown when you had Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler in a one-on-one match. Nothing new. And in the end, Randy gets a victory with the RKO. That's also nothing new. The usual when Randy faces Dolph. And then the Raw, right after, you had a rematch. Dolph Ziggler versus Randy once again. And this time, actually, Dolph Ziggler got the victory by rolling up Orton and grabbing the tights. So that was his first one-on-one victory against Randy Orton. And then right after that Raw, that same week on SmackDown, you had Randy versus Damien Sandow in a one-on-one match, which Damien Sandow just left and ran away. And then Dolph Ziggler, who was on commentary at that time, was kind of making fun of Orton. And then Orton gets out of the ring, confronts Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler takes the first shot. They fight for a while until Damien Sandow comes back. But Randy RKO's Damien Sandow to finish the job. And you would think that maybe, that slight distraction would lead Ziggler to hit the zigzag or get the advantage over Orton. But instead, Ziggler just runs out of the ring, and Randy remains in the ring, basically owning Ziggler. And then on Raw this week, you had a tag team match. It was CM Punk teaming up with Dolph Ziggler to face the team of Randy Orton and Jerry the King Lawler. In the end, Randy got the victory for his team with an RKO on Dolph Ziggler for the 1, 2, 3. So Randy once again, pinned Dolph Ziggler in that match. So right now, come pay-per-view time, Randy Orton has the clear advantage. He has the momentum leading up to the pay-per-view. He has the last win. And like I said, on SmackDown, the first SmackDown, he beat Dolph. And another SmackDown, he just owned Dolph, and Dolph ran away. And although Dolph did beat Randy, on Raw, he himself pointed out that, the people think it's a fluke. That's why he requested the match against Randy Orton at Night of Champions, because, apparently, or kayfabe-wise, people are calling it a fluke since he won by roll-up and grabbed the tights. So Dolph Ziggler right now at Night of Champions is the one that has something to prove, I guess. He's trying to prove the people wrong that, hey, he beat Randy fair and square, or, well, not really, but, it wasn't a fluke. So he looks to do that at Night of Champions, beating Randy, and I can see him doing that. The last time Dolph Ziggler was on a pay-per-view, in a pay-per-view match, SummerSlam, the last pay-per-view actually, he was facing off against Jericho. It was Jericho's last pay-per-view, so, people were expecting Jericho to lose and Dolph Ziggler to take out Jericho, or, beat him. But instead, Jericho won the match, which, by the way, I was expecting. I predicted that. So, Jericho won that match, but, later on Raw the next night, Dolph Ziggler did beat Jericho in a Money in the Bank contract versus actual WWE contract match, where Jericho would have won the match, he would have gotten Dolph Ziggler's Money in the Bank briefcase, and if Dolph wins, which he did, Jericho would have to leave because his contract would be terminated. So here in this case, in this scenario, Randy's not in the same scenario as Jericho here. I know he's supposed to be filming a movie, I think it's 12 rounds or something like that, but the thing is, he's still advertised for SmackDown, for upcoming SmackDown shows and stuff like that, and it seems like he's actually going to be competing while he's filming the shows. What I heard is they're going to give him Tuesdays off, so he could, compete on SmackDown, and maybe on Raw too. I'm not sure about Raw, but I'm pretty sure he is going to compete and still appear on SmackDown while he's, filming the movie, so it's not like he's going to be taking some time off, or, just leaving television for a while until he finishes filming the movie like The Miz. So with that said, I don't see the same thing that happened with Jericho to happen with Randy, where Dolph Ziggler just takes him out so he can, get taken off TV. But still, I see Dolph Ziggler winning this. Really, Dolph lost his last pay-per-view match, and he's the Money in the Bank holder here, so he needs to look strong at some point. So a win over Randy would do great for him. He did win against Jericho on Raw, not at SummerSlam, but he still did beat Jericho. And then a win against Randy, that'd be, even better. So, 2 straight, victories against future Hall of Famers, main event superstars. That'd be good for Dolph Ziggler. But at the same time, when you look at past Money in the Bank winners, like Jack Swagger and just recently, Daniel Bryan, they were losing a lot of matches while being the Money in the Bank holder. So I also wouldn't be surprised, like I said, to see Randy winning this. But if Randy does indeed win this, I also wouldn't be surprised to see a rematch on Raw, just like they did with Jericho, where Dolph actually wins. Although in that case, I can't see it, being a contract on the line or career on the line match, just a normal one-on-one rematch. So anyways, my pick/prediction still stands, and I'm still going with Dolph Ziggler to win this match at Night of Champions. But I will say though, I think this match would have been cooler if the Money in the Bank briefcase was on the line, because this is Night of Champions. Now while Dolph Ziggler is not, a champion, he doesn't currently hold a championship, he does hold the Money in the Bank briefcase, so I think it would have been fitting if Dolph Ziggler also put something on the line at Night of Champions, and that being his Money in the Bank briefcase. And of course, if that were to take place, I would hope Dolph Ziggler would win that match, because I don't think, Randy Orton really needs a Money in the Bank briefcase as much as Dolph does. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can click that like button, and I'm out. See ya.